Okay. All right, cheers, and I appreciate you coming.
Not a problem.
So can we have your name first, just for
Ian Mclean.
Ian Mclean. Okay, what year were you born? Are we allowed to?
46.
46.
6th
So
of the 5th, 1946.
46, yeah. That's
65 now.
yeah, I'm 62, so okay. Now surfing, what was your first surfboard? Can you remember what you had? What make it was? Or was it one like mine that never had a name on it, someone made in their backyard?
It might have been an Atlas.
An Atlas? Yeah, because they were a lot around, eh? An Atlas wood. Maybe, yeah. Where did you first start to surf?
Party, probably.
And why did you start to surf?
Well, because Gary Pearce
Yeah,
used to work at Hardier Motors then, where Tui Wordley was, and him and Tui Wordley always used to be talking about surfing, which had just started, and so he sort of got the bug, and he talked to us. Gary talked to us as it was Warren Manning,
yeah,
Dave Whalen, myself, and Gary Pearce. We all used to be mates, and Warren Manning's parents had a batch down at Hardier North,
yeah.
and we used to go down there in the weekends and stay there and drink up and all this, and then surf, and that's where we learned. Yeah, Hardier where we
Yeah, so Tui was a part of the surfing then, or that you knew?
Oh, every now and again he might have come down, but it was basically just the four of us.
Yeah, yeah.
I always remember one day we used to go down there, and there's only us on the beach most of the time.
Yeah.
And then there happened to be two other guys, and the surf wasn't that good, and we went and did something else. There was hardly anything, and I think it may have been a low swell, and then the tide had come in and didn't get the swell to work on anything, and then the tide probably went out a bit. Any case, when we came back over the hill, we see these two guys in the water there, and well, no, the surf was quite good. No, that's right. The surf had come up a bit.
So was that the bar working, or just
we never
on the
surfed
beach?
the bar.
Yeah, yeah.
And these guys were down the beach, and we thought, oh, why aren't they out surfing? Yeah. And so we all got our boards, jumped in and paddled out, and next minute, I just happened to look about 12 feet in front of me, and here's these two dark shapes in the water.
Oh.
There was a couple of sharks here, because in those days, sharks were pretty scary.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably more so than now, because we know more about them now.
Yeah, yeah.
But in those days, oh, gee, bloody shark, hell no. So I didn't bother about turning the board around. I just turned around the board and paddled in backwards. It gave me a bit of a fright, I must admit, at the time.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. But
so that's where you kicked off the surfing, was party hour with mates, friends matches, yeah.
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 So, and then we ventured then, because Tui always used to go to Waipu Cove, and then we sort of went down there a few times once we sort of could probably stand up on the boards.
Yeah,
we went down to Waipu and did a bit then, and then we gradually went everywhere, you know.
Yeah. I think Tui was a lifesaver, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But a lot of those lifeguards, I think, what I can just through my bit of research, they were the ones that sort of picked it up, and that's where it came from. Yeah. So Tarahi Surf Club, I take it you were one of the early members of that when it got going?
Yeah.
Did you just join because everyone was joining, or was just...
No, well, we all, because then I was more surfing with Tim.
Yeah, that's Tim Fraserhurst?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we thought we should form a club, and because everyone knew everyone, and everyone worked together. When you went to the beach, everyone was there. Yeah. And so we talked about it, and then we all got together, and I remember Barry Chappelle had a big part of it. Yeah. I was just there. I was sort of just supporting it, but I wanted to. I think I might have been on one of the first committees.
I can tell you that later.
Yeah, if you've got the details here.
Yeah.
And then it just formed.
Yeah, you're probably on the social committee.
Yeah, well, possibly. Our first, I remember our first meeting, and I think we had about 25 people there, and we thought, cool, I mean, that was big for those days.
And that was at Barry Chappelle's house, I think. Or
yeah, yeah.
And then we had some of the AMP
We might have had the initial, the initial forming it there, and then we went to the old AMP showgrounds that we used to be on the corner.
Yeah.
What's there now?
The car park, nothing, road.
Just roads.
Yeah. It was a good club and it was a good time, but it actually didn't last very long. But
no.
I think I know why, but we won't go with that. But we had some good socials.
You
would have went to some of the socials.
Yeah. Well, I'd have been at all those sort of things at those then.
Yeah. So, what sort of car were you driving? What was your first car? Did you have a car?
I had a 100E.
100E Prefect.
Prefect.
Yeah, I had one of those.
And because I used to live up the Wokpower Road, and from the main road we turned off the main highway and went about 5 miles up to my farm, or our farm, parents' farm. It was all metal roads, and so I did a fair bit of travelling on metal roads. Well, apart from all the surfing too, everything was metal. And I always remember about every year or so, the stones would flick up on the back of the inside back of the wheels and bend the copper pipes to the brake.
Oh yeah.
Brake pipes.
Yeah.
And so
your brakes were.
Every now and again I ran out of brakes.
So what did you go to a V-dub? What was your next one?
Went to
I can remember in your V-dub. Was yours red? What was your first one? What colour? Did you have a red one?
I remember the red. The red. Probably both were red.
Yeah. I think that's probably that photo up there was probably your V-dub at Waipu Cove that we won't go into. Yeah. Now, I'm just going to bust in here. I can remember you guys did up an old truck, Clyde. Tell me why did you do that, and where did you get it from, and tell me about that.
Yeah, well, at that stage, there was Tom Milligan, who I used to work with at Woods Glass, and there's another guy, John, and I can't quite think of the surname, Craig Rice and Drew Campy.
So
there was 4 of us.
Yep.
And my father, we were still on the farm then, and he had an old Fargo truck which had blown up, or something had gone wrong with it. So Gary Pierce was a mechanic, and we thought, well, we wanted, because woodies or surf wagons in those days were just starting, and we thought this would be just the thing to have something like that. So we got this truck going again, and did work on the engine, and then we built this canopy on the back, and we put, well, someone slept on the floor, and then we had a bunk, there was a seat, and then above that we had a fold down bunk which someone slept on, or when we were travelling, we that hooked up against the side of the wagon, and we used the second bunk as a seat.
So that was basically, you had no sinks or anything like that?
Oh shit, no, this is just a sleep in. And then we had over the roof of the truck, we had the canopy went out over the roof, and we put all our clothes and gear up there. But no, you bought your food or.
So where did you put your boards? Were they just thrown in the back?
Oh no, they were up on the
roof.
On the back. Yeah, we had a roof rack there, and.
So tell me that story. I know you went to Coromandel in it, and it was probably 1966, 67, and it broke down. So what happened when it broke down?
Well, actually, I'll tell you how it got its name, Old Clive. I don't know whether you.
No, I don't know.
Well, we were up north, and we were heading north to Kaitaia, and we're going across a Taipa one-lane bridge there.
Oh yeah.
And in any case, I'm pretty sure we had the right of way. We were heading north, and it's still the same today. And there was a car coming to the bridge about the same time as we did, and I was driving, and I decided, well, bugger, we got the right, I'll keep on going. So we kept on going. This other car kept on going. We met in the middle, and we all got out and started having an argument about who was going to back. And of course, I was pretty hot-headed in those days, and I wasn't going to back down. But and we were there for about 5 minutes arguing, and then this guy started talking about, oh, he knew the cops from Kaitaia and all this jazz. He was an old bugger,
yeah.
old as I am now, and then the other guys sort of, they weren't backing me up too much. So in the bloody end, which pissed me off, we
had to back up. Yeah.
And then we found out later that he was the undertaker in Kaitaia, and his name was Clive, because we had some girls from Kaitaia in the back, and they knew him, and then so we named it Old Clive.
After that,
that's how it got its name. And then yeah, well, we went down to Whitianga on Christmas, and we broke an axle there, and because the truck was pretty blooming old, even when we got it, and we couldn't get another axle. We'd phoned around trying to get an axle, because Tom was, at this stage, it was, yeah, Tom Milligan. Now, wait on. Now, Gary Pearce wasn't with us then. It was Tom Milligan,
was Drew
Campy, Craig Rice, yeah. Oh yeah, and Craig's mate. Oh, I have seen him, but no.
It'll come later,
yeah,
anyway.
Yeah.
So Drew Keefe, was he on that trip or not? No.
Yeah, he went south. Yeah, he was with us.
Yep, yep.
And but Tom was the mechanic. Tom Milligan could do just about anything. Yeah. Still can.
Yeah.
And he, in any case, we couldn't get an axle. He said, "I'll get a bloody axle." So he hitchhiked back to Whangarei.
That's quite a trip, eh?
It was in those days.
Early 60s, yeah.
And he hitchhiked there, got this axle, brought it back, and he was there the next day. And we were amazed. We thought we were there for 2 or 3 days. And then we slammed this axle in, and then, assumingly, we did a lot of surfing at Hotwater Beach then.
Yeah,
in fact, I saved a father and his son. Well, when I say saved, it was nothing really.
Yeah.
I was out there surfing, and this guy puts his hand up, and he says, "Hey, come and give us a hand." And he was, yeah, and he said, take my son in first. So I took him in, dropped him off, and then I went back out and I got him and took him in. But
so that was a pretty good sized swell, I'd imagine. Wasn't it reasonable? Because it does get big there at times.
Yeah, oh, it was good surfing. It's not big. Probably 4 or 5 foot.
Yeah, yeah.
But we had a lot of fun there. We had some good waves there on the beach.
Yeah.
And we had been up over the hill further from Whitianga, but we didn't come across anything in those days that suited us. So, yeah.
Now, tell me, did you have a wetsuit or anything like that in those days?
When we first started, no, all we had was a bloody pullover.
Yeah.
In the middle of winter, I always remember going out from the cove, walking across the frost in your bare feet, and the ice on the ground, and then putting your pullover on, and yeah, that's what we surfed in until
you couldn't get a wetsuit then, could you? Just move around.
Well, divers had them.
Yeah, but
it wasn't known that
you couldn't paddle in them. My old man one night, I couldn't even move my arms, so they're just a waste of time.
Yeah.
So, your best surfboard, what was your best surfboard? You must have had a few in those days. Can you remember one that you really loved? And
best
surfboard.
Board.
Yeah.
Wow. Probably the one with the tartan stripe.
Yes, I saw that a few years ago. That went up for auction at Tony Reid's surf sale antique boards probably about 10 years ago. And Roger Hall had it, I think, and he sold it at that. I don't know where it is now.
Yeah, that would have to be, because, I mean, tartan didn't sort of mix with surfing. But then when I did it,
I can remember that board.
Everyone thought, oh, well, yes, it's different, that's for sure.
Yeah.
There's no one else with a tartan cloth.
No. Someone will have that in their collection, so it'll be sitting around there, won't it?
A bit like my hang gliding. I made my hang glider with pink leading edges and vivid pink. And then, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was really...
The old tartan wood. Now, you were a pretty good surfer in those days, weren't you? I reckon you were. Yeah.
I don't know. I used to have a bit of fun, I suppose.
Yeah. Best ride in the early days of surfing? One of those days when you went out and everything was just perfect. You must have
I
one
always
of those.
remember my first times at Shipwreck Bay when we hired a 4-wheel drive Tui. Might have been Ross Edge too, and the other guy. He's not here now. We went to Norfolk Island as a builder for a while. Tim knows him.
Yeah. Not Sterling or someone like that. I can't.
No, but
yeah.
he was with
Dennis Sterling.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
I'll have his name, but
yeah. In any case, we hired this wagon, went up there, and then we went around the rocks. We surfed, and then we went right around the rocks. In fact, there mightn't have been a hell of a lot of surf, but this is the first time up there, and we went around the rocks, and I took my surf casting rod, and I surfed off the rocks. I cast in off the rocks, and whammo, got a 15-pound snapper.
Yeah.
And we brought it ashore, lit a fire, and cooked it.
Right
and
there,
all thought it was bloody marvellous, because
yeah.
we're probably hungry in any case.
So did you guys surf around the rocks in those days?
No, it was mainly shipwreck.
Because no leg ropes, so you had it if you did. Yeah. So you like us, you got mussels there and cooked them on a bit of corrugated iron or something, and it was great fun, I reckon it was.
And another day was Taupo Bay in the middle of winter. It's an offshore breeze, and we were in for about 4 hours. It was so cold, and you'd have, this is the last wave, and you'd get in, and after that you had to go back and get another one. And this just repeated itself. It was so good. It was just, and those are the ones that really stick in my memory. Yeah.
Just those days where the surf's good, the wind is fantastic.
Apart from we had some, of course, good days at Waipu Cove, awesome offshore breezes there. And then I remember one big swell at the power station, which probably got to 12 feet.
Was the jetty then there for the intake for the refinery and that then? Or
I'm not sure. That might have been. It might have been just a bit before that.
Yeah.
I was shitting. I know that. That was big because my swimming abilities weren't good.
Yeah.
And so I was always a bit nervous.
So you clung onto your surfboard pretty quickly. You had to though. Let's face it. Yeah. Any surf accidents in those early days? Or you one of the lucky ones that not much went wrong?
The odd bruise, the odd knock. I always remember starting at part hour and surfing in and going over the falls and then going right down deep in the water and then hanging on to sort of the back of it, and then I let it go and the board just shot up, and I had this imprint in my muscle just above the knee. Yeah. Like it was an imprint, a definite imprint there. It was there for weeks. Yeah, yeah. And I'm lucky I didn't break my bloody leg.
Party hour, I've done a bit of surfing, and that shore bait can be quite mean. It really can, because you're enjoying your ride and you go along. Next minute,
this is just a learning curve. This is just we were right on the start of learning.
So what year do you think you started surfing? Any idea?
Well, I was I just left high school, and I would have been 16 or 17. Yeah. So take that from 46.
So you're probably 63, 64, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the surf club didn't get really, the Taree club didn't get right going till, I think 65, 66 for the first contest was definitely 1966 that we had at Waipu Cove. But it could have been going for a little while before that, before we had our first contest.
Yeah.
That route, yep. But you have did you go surfing outside Northland much? Did you travel around?
Oh yeah, well yeah, Tim and I we went down, we followed the coast did we come back there? We went to Gisborne and then we followed the coast home, I think.
Was that for the
No,
championship, or you just did a trip to
just
Gisborne?
Christmas, over a Christmas period.
Yeah.
And we went to Hicks Bay.
Yep.
And there was big swell coming at Hicks Bay, really big. Wasn't much shape.
Yep.
I don't even know whether we surfed. We might. Well, actually, now that just reminds me of one more incident at Part Hour, when the waves were probably at least 15 feet.
Yeah, 15 feet. That's massive.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was.
For a beach break. Yeah.
Tim would know, and I mean, the white water was as high as your roof in the garage here.
Yeah.
And I mean, I thought we were crazy, especially me, because my swimming ability was bloody terrible. And we went out, in fact Tui was there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Tui was there. But yeah, it was one of those freak ones.
Yeah.
It has happened since.
Probably a big storm in the Pacific that brought it down, yeah.
But, and I mean, it was breaking like, it seemed like 200 yards out, way past the mount.
Yeah. The point there.
Yeah, way out, right? It was just huge. It was just like you see in Hawaii.
Yeah.
It really was.
And you guys actually got out? Did you go out?
No. We wouldn't even give it a go. It would have killed us.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be here today if we got out in there.
Too big,
Yeah. I mean, as I say, we just went a few yards offshore and rode the white water.
Yeah.
I mean, if we'd have got caught in a rip, it would have been history.
That's
you never would have been saved.
Yeah. So you went to Gisborne and went.
Yeah, we went to Gisborne and then we surfed.
Probably
the popular spots just at Gisborne, and then we headed north, and I forget all the names of the beaches up there, but there's a few that I've heard, and we got to Hicks Bay, as I say, and then we went around and we surfed Wakatani, and then we went to Whangamata and had some really good surf at Whangamata.
Yeah.
And
was that at the bar then, or at the main beach?
Main beach.
Yeah. Probably where the surf club is, sort of a thing. Yeah.
And then I can't remember anywhere else there that we got surf to speak of. And then home, and then the next time was with the competition at Gisborne when we went down there.
Yeah. So you entered that one?
Yeah. We were going to rip it apart until we got there, and I found I couldn't stand up my bloody board even.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. You look back at it, and you think, well, yeah, we were going to do this, we were going to do that, big guns, and then we were bloody hopeless because we were probably so nervous, and we weren't relaxed at all.
Yeah.
Never been in a competition, never been with so many surfers.
Yeah.
And a lot of good surfers. And
I've seen that with my kids were tied up with surfing, and you know these guys are really good surfers. You put them in a competition, they've only got 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get 2 or 3 good waves. Well, it used to be 3 good waves, and they would watch someone get a wave and they'd just panic, and you just make an idiot of yourself, and that still happens today. Yeah, but there is a lot of pressure that you watch a couple of guys get a wave, and next year I've got to get one. You start taking anything, and you take waves that you shouldn't be taking, and it's still like that today. You still see it in these competitions.
Yeah, well, this is sport in general now. That I'm a bit older. I mean, I can see it in sport. I play a lot of pool, and I can see how you've got to be so focused. Yeah. And I didn't understand all that sort of stuff. No.
Well, you were like me. We're out to have a good time and enjoy ourselves. But when you put someone in a competition, it's totally different, isn't it?
And the what is known about sport and the mind and really how you're meant to be relaxed.
Yeah.
that wasn't there.
No,
in our day.
there's none of that. Yeah.
There wasn't an understanding there, especially in the surfing.
Yeah. Probably if you had a couple of bottles of beer, you would have gone out and be fine, eh?
Yeah, one or two.
So, you know, while I'm sort of putting this stuff together, is there anyone that stands out that you think I should talk to with those early surfing days, apart from those guys that you've mentioned?
Yeah, well, if I could, yeah. No, I think I've covered most of the guys. Yeah. And the ones I can't remember their bloody names.
All the club guys, I've got all their names, so they're going to be easy to... Like, my neighbours are...
Well, this guy I'm thinking of, I could pick his name out.
Yeah, I've got all that, so we'll do that later.
I bet where he is now.
Yeah. So when did you...
Johnny, was it Johnny?
Johnny Bruce, he was a baller?
Yeah,
Johnny Bruce,
He went up north, and then on the way home, I got caught in the pub underage.
Yeah, which probably we all did that. You had to be 21 in those days, and when you're 16, 17, So they just kick you out, or?
No, we got lumbered.
You
got made an example of.
Yeah. So what'd you get?
Because we had headlines in the paper, quite big.
Oh yeah.
4 in hotel leads to 11 convictions.
Yeah. So you got fined?
Oh yeah, we got fined, probably $21, which is quite big.
So did they lock you up or not?
Oh no.
They just fined you?
When we went out, we did a pub crawl. What's the big hill there just before Kaitaia?
Oh, what,
Mungamukas.
Mungamukas, yeah.
We called into the Mungamuka pub, and then I don't think there's any other pub. Next one was...
Kaitaia, wouldn't it be? Or were you coming this way?
No, we were heading home.
Yeah.
And then we Kaiko, we turned off to Kaiko.
A highway or...
A highway, a Kaihau. The one before that turn off.
Yeah.
I forget which way they go now, a Kaihau or highway. We were in both of them.
Yeah.
And it's the one where you go to Kaikoui, and we were there, and we were drinking away in there, and next minute there's a tap on my shoulder, and a bloody cop. And so we went out, and then there was this song at the stage, and we were singing it every time we left the pub. We've got to get out of this place.
Oh yeah.
It was a big hit. Was that their Animals?
Could have been too. Yeah, it rings a bell. Yeah.
And because we'll all start, when it's time to go, we'll all start singing this. And so then we went outside, and after getting caught by the cops, and we're all walking down the street, laughing like hell about this and carrying on. And we looked around, and these bloody cops were following us along the street. So they probably thought, oh, we'll show you buggers. That's why
you probably got
lumbered with
yeah. But can you remember the surfies on a Friday night in town, Whangarei, just about blocking up the whole street? We'd all meet together and go to a party somewhere. It was a big thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, we left one night, we wanted to do something, and we thought, well, we'll go to Port Waikato. So we left about 9 o'clock.
This is on a Friday night or something?
Yeah. And there'll be Tim, myself, I'm trying to think who, probably Drew, and we went to Pukekohe, and we sort of didn't know where we were. There was 2 cars, and we just stopped on the side of the road somewhere in Pukekohe, and went to sleep. And this guy, I think one of the guys slept in the bonnet of my Volkswagen.
Inside it,
Inside, and which was, in the front, of course. He looked up the front, and then we woke up in the morning, and John, it was this guy John that was with us in the wagon, and I said, well, where's John? And then all of a sudden the bloody bonnet lifts up,
So they pulled. There's not much room in those windows, really.
No, but this is what we did. I mean, shit. I remember with Worthy heading to Sandy Bay, and for some reason we got pretty tired, and we stopped on the way before Nungaroo, that's the last big bridge, Kiripak.
There used to be sort of a one-way, and then we're across the Nunga
River there, the first big concrete bridge there, and just over there to the right.
Yeah.
And we stopped there, and we slept. 4 of us slept, or tried to sleep in the Volkswagen, sitting up, trying to sleep. Shit, I always remember that. Was a hell of a night.
But I had a VW when I lived at Nunga, and I tell you what, they were just fantastic on the metal though. My mate's brother had a Holden, a fairly new Holden, and I could keep up with him, and he couldn't pass me. And my VW was about 10 years older than his Holden, but it just stuck to the road. They were unbelievable. You know, you could just throw them around the corners.
Well, I remember.
They were just great.
I remember coming back now. Talk about this. We might have gone to Dargaville because we were coming just before Manganaperi, and I used to get so many surfboards on my bloody roof rack. I mean, I could get about 6 on there.
Yeah.
Should never have done it. And then we were screaming along like I would have. And then I just I heard this noise, and I looked out my driver's window, and here's all the surfboards gliding along beside me in the car. They'd come off, they'd flipped right over, upside down, and they were just gliding along beside me in the bloody car. And you can imagine. So, and that happened twice actually. I lost my surfboards twice.
Because the old roof racks were terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't hold much.
No, well, they're the old suction cup ones.
Yeah, and I think half the money had one clip down to the. You had a flash one. You had 2 clips down to your gutter, isn't it?
And then the roof would sink in.
Yeah.
I mean, so much weight it had to.
But that's how it was.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
We got away with it.
Yeah. That's
without killing anyone.
Yeah. That's brilliant stories. I appreciate that. Yeah. So did you surf overseas? Did you?
No.
No. So what made you give up surfing was when after you had your accident, the hang gliding accident. You just about killed yourself.
No, I'd really given it up. I only surfed for about 2 years. I think it was really.
Yeah.
I think I might have gone on to diving.
Yeah. Other interests.
Diving and just changed. Things just shifted.
Yeah.
I always if there's anything on surfing now on TV, I always watch it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I still love it.
Yeah.
Love watching it.
Yeah. I was one of those idiots. I never stopped, but I still enjoy it. There's something about it.
I've often thought about getting into it, but I just don't think I would get into it enough where I would really be able to get fit enough.
Yeah.
Because it'd take a shitload of work for me to get fit enough.
Yeah, Ian Butt says that he really struggled to get back into it after not doing it. It just, you do lose it. But he's picked it up. Well, mate, that's
Is he still surfing?
Yeah, he's got quite a good board. He's picking it up. Yeah. So that was one of his regrets that he did stop for so long.
Yeah.
But you just got to get the right equipment now. A big floaty board and you're away. So that's brilliant.